Hello there guys, how are we all doing today? We're going to be heading right into the first map of our first round of 16 here in the Challenger Division. Spirit Academy versus Cosmo. We're kicking things off on Nuke, but what do you think as we head into it, Flam?
Nuke, it's a map that we've seen. CT dominated is from pretty much its entire history. However, in the SCL, we've seen a little bit of an emergence coming through, especially from the T side. It should be a pretty good start if we can see that T side have themselves an amazing start, as it does look like we are about to head in towards the server here.
Yes.
It will be this pistol round getting itself underway.
Straight into action here.
Of course.
I'm liking the Spirit Academy buy. Just opted for armor. A lot of util on the side of Cosmo, but straight into the A-bomb site they head. And Cosmo, a great pistol start as they find two, but Baz on the back of the bomb site gets a double for himself. R16 chimes in, but it's now all on Zontix, 1 versus 2.
Yeah, we did see a little bit of a play coming in through there from Spirit Academy. They don't bring any utility in. They're just keeping themselves on the pistol and the armor. They needed to keep themselves alive, just weren't able to do it. A really good job by Cosmo to open up this game here on the pistol round, and we are going to see a little bit of a rotation heading towards this B site here at the moment. As Zontix, well, a lot of work for the young man to do.
Yeah, I think the Cosmo side as well, they don't want to force anything. They just tap on the bomb, force a rotation of Zontix. Obviously, goes up towards Heaven, but I think Cosmo just going to be double backing towards A. Zontix will be in the back lines. They have just cleared all of this lobby position. Obviously, they were aware of that potential ramp flank, but it's actually going to be coming through now. And the real question on these two Cosmo players' minds, where does Zontix reside? Obviously, had a little bit of a look towards lobby. The only two positions they are a little bit unsure of is main and obviously outside, but Zontix will find one before falling as Jackpot clutches it out. So Cosmo, they kick off the T side with the pistol. And as you mentioned, Flam, getting a couple rounds early on the pistol, well, off the pistol on the T side can be so beneficial on a heavily CT dominated map. And that's exactly what Cosmo have done here.
Yeah, I think getting a good start in as well, pretty good. We did see, the heavy utility buy coming in for the pistols here from Cosmo. Could have probably been the difference in that one. I'm not going to be, beating around the bush here. A lot of the times the utility does help out, especially on your T side here for Nuke. But here's the tricky thing. We saw the utility come in. Now you have to reinvest more in towards the armor instead of the rifles. And we're seeing it take a little bit of a toll here at the moment with, Mac 10s coming out. We do see 2 Khalils coming through, but it is those players that ended up getting, were being able to get themselves 2 kills in that last round. And the thing is, we've got Kiro sitting on a P250, coming into a round where you're coming up against Deagles, coming up against Scouts, coming up against MP9s. It doesn't really matter because we're just seeing Cosmo just absolutely go in. A beautiful tap there from Kiro, but now with that bomb going down, 5v2 situation here, Zola.
A lot of damage though. 4
So
players on the Cosmo side, very low. I think Spirit Academy, you might as well just go for this. Obviously, they're going to be potentially looking for a bit of a save once this player goes down in Heaven. Yeah, I think they are just going to be backing away now. But I like the bit of the play there from Kiro. Yeah, it's heavily risky just opting for that P250, but able to pick up that Mac 10, find a kill onto Don Huckler with the jump shot there. Okay. We like to see that. Something you touched upon as well, obviously investing in a lot of that util on the pistol round can be a bit costly in the next, but I think as well, when you're facing off against the USPs, you're far less likely to get body spammed. It is going to be all about those headshots, so I think armor or not, you're probably going to go down to 1 bullet anyway, so the util clearly worked out for them on the pistol. That lack of investment from Kiro in the last worked in here. And they're just going to be facing off against a very weak buy. 2 Deagles, a P250, and 2 USPs on the side of Spirit Academy. So these Mac 10s can make some cash now.
They definitely can, and of course, if they do, that'll be the big test. We are going to see a little bit of a cheeky fight here in towards ramp room. Zontix a lot of work to do with that Deagle, and with 4 heads potentially there to be found, it's going to be a heavy workload as just goes straight down. The B side going to be completely given up here, and Cosmo almost looks set to pick themselves up 3 just off the back of a quick B take.
Yeah, and I feel like in a round like this, potentially we need to see a little bit more of a gamble from Spirit Academy. You've got the pistols. It's not as though it's armored Deagles. It's not as though it's kind of has any util behind it. I think maybe you go for a bit of a stack, whether it's towards A, whether it's towards outside. You try and take some control. But it seemed as though they kind of played a bit static, a bit flat. And obviously we saw Zontix get a little bit caught out initially. Had to drop down towards B. Oh, talk about players getting caught out. Somehow Artfrost not finding that kill onto Spin. Runs out of ammo with the Mac 10, but still finds him. But yeah, I feel like potentially we need to see a little bit of a gamble here from Spirit Academy in that last round. And, a couple kills could have been found and maybe even the chance at the round. But the full buy is out and we do see Artfrost on that AWP. a player that kind of we spoke about in our little talk the other day. Such a key player on the big green, and such a key player for Spirit Academy, and that's something that Cosmo need to try and deal with, because you can't let a player like Artfrost not only come into the game, but also you can't let him just have that space. You've got to try and lock him out, and I feel like now they know Artfrost is on the AWP, potentially we see those fast days, potentially we see those ramp hits, because you can't really give him much time to work with.
Yeah, just Artfrost, he's such a dynamic player. We see him do it on the T side. We see him get nice and aggressive on that T side whenever he needs to. We see him be that sort of player coming in towards that CT side, holding down any line. But look at Softic here at the moment. Just absolutely no regard for any lobby presence at all. He's going to be able to push through, finding himself a frag with that M4. Potential here for a second. However, with the lesser weaponry coming in through for Cosmo, will sort of just be forced away. But now this Cosmo side is just forced into this outside fight, while Artfrost finding himself a frag. Donk as well, getting one more. Just a beautiful shutdown from Spirit Academy.
Yeah, and I think as well that came from the fact, as you mentioned, no players towards lobby, all 5 sent towards outside, and it seemed as though Sophic was aware of the chance of there being a player top lobby, someone kind of tucked away towards, Hut, but no, I feel like Cosmo, they needed to leave one player around here, because having all 5 towards outside, you understand it. If you're going to hit it with pace, you can get everyone down secret, but it seemed a bit static. They were very slow to take that control. It allowed Sophic to progress outside, found that initial pick, and yeah, as you mentioned, there was nowhere else for the Cosmo players to go, and they just got crunched on. Great round from Donk. It's nice to see Artfrost chiming in with the AWP as well, and I feel like Cosmo, yes, it was a bit of a bonus round for them, but I feel like they still could have operated a little bit more as a team, and if you are going to stick together as a 5, potentially hit it with a bit more pace.
Yeah, I think especially as well, we see Spirit Academy coming through, and they've got themselves, the ability to keep all 5 rifles here in this server. They didn't have to go in and reinvest here. We are going to see Jackpot being a little bit cheeky, finding himself a little bit of a ring around the rosy there with Donk, and eventually will get himself the frag. Artfrost with the AWP, very quick to at least get the trade. Kiro, a bit quicker when it does come to getting one back.
Yeah, obviously 2 versus 1 here. It's not going to be an easy round for Kiro, but it does have the AWP now. Sadly, the bomb not under his control. I don't know if Spirit Academy are aware of this. I feel like Zontic's clearly going to get that information soon. Jackpot played a real key role there. Jumping around, obviously, as you mentioned, kind of dancing around the box there. I don't think his opponent was aware at all. I feel like maybe we could have seen Jackpot play with a little bit more discipline, and it could have worked out perfectly. I think Spirit...
It really could have, but yeah. I think he would have been aware, I'll be completely honest with you. I think he would have heard the jump down.
Potentially, it seemed like he wasn't aware. Nice closeout, though, from Spirit Academy. Obviously, Kiro's 1v2 is not going to be easy, especially without the bomb, and it was a nice crossfire there from the remaining 2 Spirit Academy players, but money's looking good for them. We've got Artfrost, obviously, once again, back on the AWP. Reinvestment here from Cosmo.
Yeah, it will be. These AKs coming through. A Galil on less will. It just will be a little bit of a blemish there on the armory, but I guess as well from this buy from Spirit Academy, it's just going to be business as usual, trying to deal with this nuke map for the CT side. There'll be a lot that they've got to cover. And the big question is, is the utility going to come in handy for them, as we do see a nice nade onto Huckler.
Obviously, they've got a fair bit of util advantage onto Spirit Academy. We've seen a lot of util already used from the CTs, and they haven't really gained much for it. Artfrost, though. Nice awareness there for the peek onto Spin. We do get man advantage in Spirit Academy's way now. But I feel like Cosmo, the last 2 rounds, they've been against the full buys of Spirit Academy. And I'll be honest with you, Flam, I think they've struggled a little bit. And I think this round going to be very similar to the last. We see picks going Spirit Academy's way. It's a 3 versus 5 now. Yes, they've dealt a little bit of damage onto Baz, but I feel like it's not going to really matter. Cosmo are going to struggle here. And the util has kind of, really dwindled away for the side of Cosmo. And it seems as though they're a little bit split here. We've got players towards lobby, players trying to aggress towards ramp, but you've got to be honest, they're going to be facing off against Artfrost, and that's not a battle you're going to be winning.
Yeah, I think especially, Cosmo, they tried to go for that fake out of outside with the utility coming through, but just purely from the positioning of Spirit Academy, they're able to just shut it down, and all of a sudden here, with very, very little in terms of map control for Cosmo and 20 seconds to play, it's just going to be a save coming in here. Less we're going to look to try and hunt for another frag, but You know, how much realistically are Cosmo going to be able to try and do in this situation? Keep these two AKs in. You'll see potentially a upgrade in terms of rifles coming up in these next few rounds. And Spirit Academy, Softic as well, just looking to maybe even go hunting a little bit here.
Should be able to
Will
find
be.
much.
You'd hope he wouldn't.
Yeah, definitely.
Cosmo should have been tucked away.
It's going to be tough now, though. What do Cosmo do? Les Will going to struggle to buy in the next. It's going to be a Galil or a Mac 10. Kiro, luckily, with a little bit of money in the reserve, it'll be fine. But I think Cosmo potentially didn't need to invest in the last. I feel like it was a little bit shoddy. We mentioned the Galil. We mentioned the kind of... There was a little bit of a blemish on the utility as well. But I feel like we need to see the AWP out for the Cosmo side because they've got to try and take down R16. You know, Nuke being a very heavily AWP-centric map, the fact that they haven't brought one out to try and counter R16, it's a little bit scary because he's going to be winning these engagements. Once again, 2 for 2 in this round, and I feel like we need to see Cosmo try and battle back.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there. I do think Cosmo need to try and have, you know, something just in the works coming in through with their economy. They need to try and get control of it. Often what we do see a lot of the times is the CT side will start winning a lot of these rounds in a row and start taking controlling of a lot of the areas of the map purely for the fact they've got the economical advantage and the economic control over their opponents. And, you know, Cosmo at the moment, they're in a real death spiral at the moment. They've got to try and get control of their economy. They've got to try and at least have themselves, you know, a steady flow of being able to manage their money here. And it really does come up to their IGL. You know, is he going to be able to sit down, be able to at least fight for a little bit more control over the money, start making smarter economic decisions? Of course, early time will tell here, but with what's looking to be a little bit of an A-pop coming through potentially, it's going to be an interesting test for the Spirit Academy defense.
Only 2 pieces of util for them to work with. Arthrost's going to be rotating in as well. Yes, Kiro finds one, but that is all that's found. That's a lovely A defense there. But I think from the Cosmo side, if they are going to be going for these force buys, these weaker buys, I think we have to see them go a little bit more towards A and towards ramp. I feel like you can't lean towards outside because Arthros is going to take you down. Potentially a fast A pop's what they kind of really need to do, because if they don't have the money to bring out an AWP to kind of fight off against Arthros, you've got to try and, you know, work with what you've got instead of focusing towards outside, because you're going to lose that battle. AK versus AWP and Arthros is the one wielding it. I feel like you're never going to win that, so we need to potentially see Cosmo lean a little bit more towards A.
Cosmo are going to go with the full economic reset here at the moment, and especially with that lesser, you know, utility coming through. You'd have to start thinking about, you know, what are the better strats with those lesser guns, with those, you know, SMGs, with those pistols coming through. And, you know, this might be my OCE brain at the moment here, listen, but hear me out. A good vent pop goes pretty well.
I think, yeah, I think a good... I'll be honest with you, I think a vent pop it's a play that realistically... It's not one that is going to be working on those full buys, on those kind of strong AK rounds, because realistically, you don't want to have that much risk. But when you've got the Tech 9s, when you've got the Mac 10s, I feel like why not go for a vent pop? It's so out of the ordinary, it's so unnecessary that it definitely will work, because we've seen a lot of aggression towards outside. The main player for the Spirit Academy side has tended to lean a little bit more towards outside. So in the early portions of the round, yeah, try and get 2-3 players down towards vent, leave that kind of question mark in the Spirit Academy side, and you don't even need to go down towards B. You can make your way back up secret, and you know Artfrost is going to be rotating down. You know these key players, the ramp player as well, is going to be falling down, because they can't really leave it up to chance. But once again, we see a bit of a default here from Cosmo, and it gets absolutely shut down. You know, they've got Mac 10s, they've got Tech 9s. Why aren't they just hitting it with speed? I feel like they're going to struggle against the full buy anyway, so why not just hit it with some pace? But I guess, you know, they've got their own game plan. Yes, it worked initially, but now the full buys are out for Spirit Academy. That's 6 rounds in a row, and we need to see a change of pace here for Cosmo, because remember, Flam, this is their map pick.
It is their map pick. Of course, Nuke was supposed to be that map that comes in as that slower paced map. You know, both teams sort of have that reputation of being those slower paced, more methodical, more smart, more drawn out sort of rosters at the moment. And Nuke, a map that definitely lends well towards that type of play and that style of play. But I think especially with what we're seeing from Spirit Academy at the moment is the fact that they're not respecting the, you know, usual conventions of not only CIS Counter-Strike, but also the map. as a beautiful 2K from Jackpot to open up the outside control. A lot of the disrespect that we have seen at the moment coming in through Spirit Academy has been the fact that they want control of the map early. They want to fight for it, and they're going to punish you if you even try to assume that you have little bits of control. We've seen it with lobby earlier in this game. We've seen it with outside for so long and so much of this game, and now we're even going to start to see it with a little bit of a heaven wrap coming in through for this A site. The big question is at the moment, Cosmo, they've had themselves a bit of a break. Are they going to be able to try and capitalize on it?
Obviously, there were 5 versus 3. They could bring it to a 4 versus 2 as, you know, a heavy hitter does fall. Jackpot needs to be ready for Baz, though. 3 versus 2. Spirit Academy definitely not out of this one now. And it isn't... Ooh, it seems as though Huckler wants to have a little bit of a look towards B. This should be perfect. Definitely not going to be aware. Huckler could find them both. But yeah, I feel like Cosmo, you know, that double towards outside, so vital for them. Obviously, they did lose that pick back towards Squeaky, but I'll be honest with you, fam, I 100% agree with what you said. I feel like Spirit Academy, they are coming into these rounds with, I don't want to say ego, but it's a lot of confidence. I feel like when they're fighting for the control, it's not as though they're even questioning that they're going to lose it. And I feel like that's, you know, a lot what has yielded them success. We saw it towards outside, though. Jackpot with a brilliant double. It shut them down. And potentially that's where Spirit Academy are going to think, you know what, that double from Jackpot, it won them the round. We need to give them a little bit more of respect because we've just given away around here. And yes, Cosmo, they haven't really been showing much on these full buys, but they found 4 so far. Realistically, they get 1 more. A 10-5 half, it's not too out of the ordinary. You know, it's
Here's the thing. Here's the thing on the contrary to that. Now, I'm going to be the devil's advocate for you, Zola, here, mate.
Okay.
Listen, the fact that Jackpot was able to crack that round open by getting himself a 2K, Spirit Academy will sit there and say, that's luck. That's just a luck play coming in. That's a life round for Jackpot at the moment. That's exactly what Spirit Academy are going to come in. They're going to come in with even more confidence here. They're going to go, if they want to be lucky, that's completely fine. Let them be lucky. That's not what I'm about here. I'm about proving that I'm the better player, and I'm going to sit here and I'm going to take more control over the map areas that I'm, you know, in charge of taking control of. That's what we saw, you know, we've seen with Donk. That's what we've seen with Art Frost so much. And it looks to be this, you know, once again, another outside setup that's, you know, designed for that AWP to get themselves opening picks, designed for Donk to be that player to become, you know, a part of that supporting cast for Art Frost, who's become such a vital part here for Spirit Academy. And another thing, Zola, you know, having a little bit of ego, especially in these games, isn't a bad thing.
Oh, definitely
having a little bit of an ego peak, you know, coming in with a little bit of confidence. We've seen Spirit Academy, and especially Art Frost, especially, you know, Zonix, these guys, they will play with ego. They know they are better than you. That's the thing about these two. That's what makes them both such great players. And the fact that we've seen Art Frost come from outside control, moving his way to the ramp control, finding himself the opening pick here in this game. Spirit Academy, they're playing a wonderful brand of Counter-Strike at the moment. And even if they are, you know, losing a few rounds to Cosmo here and there, they're playing a wonderful style of Counter-Strike. With 45 seconds to play, Cosmo have just finally gotten secret control.
Yeah, and you say they've got control. Art Frost is here and he gets the collat. He's going to be hunting for more. Missed shot, switches to the Deagle. What a round from Art Frost. He's on for the ace. He takes it. What a play there. Not only is it granted with the collat, every single position that he went for the swing, he repeats, he gets 2 for the price of 1 bullet, and he's still got the ego to peek it. And yeah, you know, I agree with you. I think Art Frost, a type of player that you show yourself to him, he's not going to be hiding away. He's going to be hunting you down, and that's exactly what we saw. 18-5 already. This is a round of 16 game. This is playoffs. This isn't the regular season, and Art Frost has hit that new level, and I feel like Cosmo, they need to be a little bit worried.
They do, and I think calling the timeout after a round like that is so crucial for Cosmo.
Yeah.
For 2 reasons. You're going to be sitting there and you're going to go, all right, let's slow this down. They've had themselves a big round. We're going to calm this game down a little bit. We're going to keep playing our own brand of Counter-Strike. For Spirit Academy, they'll be sitting there. They'll be geared up. That timeout has worked for both teams at the moment. Cosmo, I'm pretty sure, don't realize the intended effect that we're going to see on Spirit Academy. They've had time to calm down. They've had time to let Cosmo sit on that round. The most daunting thing in Counter-Strike is sitting on a round that you've just lost because, you know, someone has just come out and made an absolute astonishing play out of their mind. They've had themselves a life round coming through. Art Frost definitely doing that, and Art Frost finding himself another. That's 19 on the game so far. We're only 12 rounds in, Zola.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. I feel like Art Frost is a player that you really need to isolate. You really need to try and kind of... you know, keep out of these rounds. And I'll be honest, Cosmo, it's what they searched to do. They went for a bit of an A-pop, probably the hardest situation for Art Frost to get himself into. Obviously, if he goes towards outside, Art Frost is there with the AWP. Whether he's towards ramp, he's going to have that fast rotation. But, you know, playing from heaven with the AWP, it is so risky. It is, you know, quite difficult, but Art Frost still finds the frag. And Cosmo just got shut down once again. They did go for a bit of a fast A, but it was perfectly kind of defended there from Spirit Academy. And I'll be honest with you, Flam Cosmo, I think they need to find this round, or they might be a little too far out of it. A ramp hop incoming. Zontix does find one before falling. Less will with the trade. 4 on 4 now. Utility, though, not perfect for the side of Cosmo. And trying to hold off this B-bomb site isn't going to be all too easy. We already see these instant rotations from both Donk and Sotfik, but Donk will fall, so man advantage for Cosmo. Only 2 pieces of utility remaining, though.
Yeah, it will be a little bit more of a strenuous task at the moment. Les will just tickled a little bit by Flames. Just a little bit of a cheeky tickle. We are going to see, you know, Sprint finding himself too. That's a beautiful shutdown. That round is over and done here. Cosmo to pick themselves up 5. But with Spirit Academy here, left with Softic. He does have a kit in play, however, in the 4v1 situation, I don't like his chances. The best thing that he's got to do at the moment is try and keep that M4 here in this server. But a beautiful pop from Cosmo. They've realized they're playing this game too slow. That's exactly what they need. They've started to realize, become a little bit more self-aware about their game at the moment, playing a little bit quicker, playing a little bit more fast-paced. It's starting to work out here for Cosmo. The question is, are they going to continue to be self-aware enough to be able to pick up the pace of this game? Are they going to continue to be, you know, sort of that team that's a little bit lackluster, trying to play methodical, trying to play smart when there's just no respect given towards the brains of this game at the moment? That's going to be the big question. That's going to be the big test for Cosmo here.
Yeah, I think maybe you just hit a repeat of it. I think Cosmo, they've lent towards ramp. It worked out so perfectly. And I feel like Spirit Academy, they're going to be ready for a pop elsewhere, but you could just go for a repeat there. It was great from them.
Especially with Huckler finding a little bit of damage on the Dunk early. That's going to force him away. That's pretty much the outside control given up, apart from Hardfrost now coming in a little bit later.
You say that.
Didn't see.
Donk's already down secret. It's not going to be easy to take.
Yeah, but the thing is, they've forced him away from taking those areas of outside. The fact that he's, you know, fallen off in towards that secret area of the map has just left a lot of this outside control to Whitefrost. What's not to say that there's a smoke thrown into secret and they take you know, that annex control, they take that potential heaven ramp coming through. It's all going to be down to Whitefrost, and we do see that ramp pop coming through. Les Wolf tagged up quite heavily, but he's going to be aggressive. We see Softic finding one immediately traded coming through. Now it's a 3v3 situation. A beautiful shot there from Sprint, and now all of a sudden this game.
It's open right up, yeah. It's looking good. Once again, a bit of a ramp pop from Cosmo to work out very nicely. Huckler already down towards Secret, playing a nice little off angle. I think it's going to be a bit of a struggle here for Spirit Academy. Baz does want to give this one a little bit of a go, though. The flash looking good. Artfrost going to be rotating down ramp. Obviously, Huckler's a little bit out of this one. Flashbang going to be coming through. Oh, the flash is perfect.
Beautiful.
And that's the team play that we expect from Spirit Academy. Tap of the bomb, Huckler in the backlines. I think he's made his position known, but I don't think it matters. Artfrost gonna go down. And Spin, once again, has had so much impact down here towards B. Obviously, we saw it in that last post plant. Didn't even need to move his crosshair. The 2 openers, you know, getting the trade onto Sotfik. Also finding Donk, I believe. You know, I feel like Spin has had a lot of impact in these last couple rounds and potentially kept Cosmo in this one.
Yeah, especially those big plays, those big individual efforts is the big thing that's really creating a little bit more of this comeback feel for Cosmo, but they're definitely not out of the woods yet. If we do see a 9-6 half coming through here for Spirit Academy, it is, you know, a little bit harder for Cosmo to try and take control. However, we do see that 8-7. It's, you know, not sort of representative of the half that we have seen. You know, while it's a tight scoreline, we've definitely seen Spirit Academy come through and being able to find themselves, you know, so much in terms of map control, in terms of just control in general of this game, and the fact they're not able to take themselves a bigger lead going in towards their T side. You know, it's just a little bit misleading and mistelling of this game, but for Cosmo to stay in towards this one, especially on their own map pick, it could potentially prove vital, you know, moving towards a stronger side of the map like the CT side.
Yeah, and I think as well, you've got to imagine the pistol round having a lot of importance. You know, we've had 11 rounds of kind of full buys versus full buys where Spirit Academy have been victorious in 8. So I feel like the pistol round so vital for Cosmo. I think without it, we'd be looking at a very scary scoreline for them to be facing off against. Nice off angle there. Zontix, the fact he can find 2. Les will get 1, but instant trades and a 9-6 on the flip of this kind of the half. But yeah, Spirit Academy, they're looking really nice. Artfrost has already got 20 kills.
Has got 20. Hardfrost has got 20. What?
That's just ridiculous.
What a half from the AWPer. That's absurd. Baz has got 11. You're gonna see Sprint there on 11 himself. You know,
But I think as well, you see this performance from Artfrost and you don't go, oh, he's having a life game. This is just what Artfrost does, and there's not really much you can do about it. I feel like
This is
Nuke
what
as
he
well.
does.
Yeah. Every damn day. 20 on one
Every
half.
day. The amount of Spirit Academy games that I've casted at Artfrost has dropped 20 in the first half, and then just
Even
gone
more,
off and
yeah.
ended up with a 40
Yeah.
bomb or something, and you're sitting there and it's like, Artfrost, it was a 16-5 win. How have you gone out and done this?
How have you got a
Like,
2KR? Like, what's going on?
someone please check his PC. He's got to be playing with a game defect.
He's
But
got
we
a
are going to see the team force coming out here.
Artfrost the type of player to have a better KR than a KD. Like, how does he do it?
I know. He makes me look like, a level 1. It's ridiculous, I'll be completely honest with you.
I think you are a level 1 though, aren't you, Flair?
Hey, that doesn't. Hey, listen.
That's
let's not
personal
let the truth
information.
let's not let the truth get in the way of a good story here, alright?
Okay. A nice start though here for Spirit Academy. I feel like you've got to imagine you take the pistol round away from Cosmo, and realistically we're looking at a 9-3. We're looking at a bit of a daunting scoreline. Obviously Cosmo, they're on the favoured side, they're on their map pick. They're going to be confident, but this pistol holds a lot of importance for them. Obviously if they find it, they can bring themselves to 9-9, and that's where they've got a real chance. But I think as well, Spirit Academy, they're not going to be looking to lose in this pistol as well, because them winning it, they're going to find double digits, they're going to progress even further, and potentially we're going to be looking to kind of be switching to Vertigo, and obviously that being Spirit Academy's map pick, a bit of a daunting feeling on the kind of the minds of these Cosmo players.
Yeah, especially for Cosmo at the moment. This has got to be their opportunity to prove themselves here. We saw them come in, I think if I remember correctly, they were the 13th or 12th seed or something like that.
I think
it was
14th.
a very low seed.
I think 14th. Yeah.
What, Spirit Academy came third.
Yeah,
14 makes a bit of sense.
Mm.
Yeah, 13 makes a bit of sense. I'll give you that one, Zola. You're better at math than me. But I think especially with Cosmo coming through, this is their opportunity to prove themselves against an opponent that is
tough opponent, yeah.
quote unquote one of the best in the business at the moment. Of course, Nuke has sort of been that map for Cosmo that's been their comfort map, their sort of safe home away from home. We've seen them take teams like CyberMD, like MCE Game Expert, like, a bit of a cheeky Quasar when they had their horrendous losing streak, teams like Royals as well, where, they've taken them to Nuke and they've just said, okay, this is my map. You're going to come here and you're going to suffer, is essentially what they've said this entire season.
But I think I think you've got to imagine Spirit Academy, Season 7 champions. I feel like there is still a bit of a difference between, those teams in Spirit Academy. And although a lot of these teams in the Challenge Division, they are as competitive as one another, but I feel like Spirit Academy, they're on a different kind of podium. They're not on that same level to, I'd say, the majority of teams, because yes, they won the last season. They're going to be looking to win this one. And I feel like definitely one of the kind of the top dogs in the race, I guess you could say.
Yeah, they've sort of become the SCL sweetheart, to be completely honest with you. They've been sort of this royalty team that's come in through and just sort of been given, opportunity to have themselves free reign of whatever they kind of want, to be completely honest with you. And a little bit on the counterpoint of how important a map like Nuke is, we're going to see Huckler finding himself one Zontic to be able to get himself a trade. A beautiful one tap there by Zontic to finish off the round. But, moving on towards Spirit Academy's history on Nuke, they've got a 100% win rate on this map coming out through the entire regular season. They did beat Hasper's TM, they did beat Nine Pandas Esports, of course. That Nine Pandas side a little bit, one of those teams that hasn't had, an easy sort of quote-unquote time against it. It was an overtime game that we did see Spirit Academy be able to take themselves the win coming through.
Yeah, and I think Nine Pandas is a similar kind of side to Cosmo. They're both in similar seeding positions. I feel like Spirit Academy winning that pistol as well, a lot of impact. I like what we're seeing here though from Cosmo. Just a B stack. This could be perfect. They're going to go right into the stack, but Zontix finds 2 with the Mac. We are going to be seeing Donk here as well. Just going to drop the Molotov. I think it's going to be a bit of an A split here from Spirit Academy, but a kill found here for Cosmo, a Mac 10 retrieved. They've got something to work with. I feel like Kiro just going to try and find a couple picks here with the Mac, potentially to get out that AWP as early as possible, but it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, I think especially with that Mac 10 just going down, with Artfrost finding himself one a frag, finally without the AWP. Good to see him expanding his range, to be completely honest with you. But
it's pistols or AWPs.
It's pistols or AWPs. I haven't seen this kid use anything else, to be completely honest with you. But no, I think especially, with with sort of this, with that Mac 10 coming through, we are going to see eventually the AK that was recovered eventually taken down. With that Mac 10 that come through, the fact that it found 2 kills as well, $1,200 right there, right then and there. That's a new AK coming in towards this next round here for Zonix. You know, with that win round bonus, they're going to get themselves a full set of utility. Still 2 Galils here in this server, but mainly rifles to be the accompanying feature for the Spirit Academy side. And
Cosmo as
they've
well.
found themselves a good start coming in. Finally, the first rifle round coming through. It's not going to be a pretty look in terms of utility here for Cosmo.
Similarly, no defuse kit. It's not going to be easy. The bomb goes down. That's where Cosmo are in a world of hurt. And you've got to imagine as well, Flam, their buy isn't perfect. If they lose this round, they give up 13. And I feel like that's a little bit too dangerous for them. 13-6. Oh, that is devastating for Jackpot. Needed to find that frag. Was completely unaware of. And somehow we still see Donk take him down.
Yeah, I think especially for Cosmo at the moment, this is such a crucial round. You can't be making mistakes like that. You know, think about it. We do see Cosmo lose this round. Spirit Academy pick themselves up 12. They're going to have themselves 1, maybe 2 rifle rounds in total coming through. We are going to see Kuro finding himself 2. Baz, Zontix finding themselves 1 apiece. Leswell getting 1 back, and all of a sudden Leswell to be stuck here in the 1v3 situation. Baz, Donk quite low. It is going to be down to Artfrost to really get this job done. And with that bomb collected here, 50 seconds to play in the A site. Almost looking as if it is going to be a bit of a hunt down, but Leswell, do you reckon he saves this M4?
No, I think he goes for it. If he finds Donk here, there's a real chance. I think the steps have been heard, though. Yeah, definitely going to go for it now. Bomb's being planted down towards B. Baz has got this one, though. So comfortable. Even though he's 2 HP, still finds the round. Spirit Academy, they get 12, 13 on the horizon, and Cosmo really struggling here.
This is really ugly for Cosmo at the moment. They've got to save. They've got to force in.
I think they're just going to be opting for the half, but they can't justify a force.
They're going to come in. We're going to see Huckler buy down to $800.
It's enough to get a buyout in the next. You can get an M4 and a couple pieces of util. It's not going to be perfect, but we have to see this MP9 of Huckler work some magic. We need to see a couple kills found, potentially an AK retrieve, but Jackpot falling so easily to Sophic. This is not looking nice here for the side of Cosmo.
I'm not a fan of this by Zola, I'll be completely honest with you.
See, I like the idea behind it, but I feel like it's a risk. I feel like I like the idea of the risk. I don't like the play, and obviously Huckler finds nothing. Goes down for nothing, no money made, no AK saved, and what a shot from Zontix. Tapping away his opponents, and he's going to do it once again. And Spirit Academy, they win that round very comfortably. They keep 3 players alive. Artfrost definitely going to be bringing out the big green here and now. 7.5k to his name. And with only 3 more rounds needed to be found here for Spirit Academy, I think this one is already over. And potentially Cosmo need to be focusing on how they're going to take Vertigo. Because Vertigo, it's Spirit Academy's map pick. They're clearly confident on it. And I feel like potentially we might be looking at a 2-0. Dare I say it, it's the first game of the round of 16. But I think we're going to be seeing a dominant game here.
This has been a beatdown.
Yeah, definitely. And with Kiro falling there.
I mean,
that was the AWP outside.
Oh no.
And let's compare the 2 AWPers. Artfrost 23 and 10, Kiro 11 and 15. Jackpot 6 and 16. Huckler still hasn't yet to find double-digit kills as well. It's just really unfortunate here for Cosmo because they needed to find Nuke. They had to take it because I think we expect Spirit Academy to win that own map pick. But the fact they're looking so dominant here on their opponent's map pick, you've got to imagine things are going to be looking a little too tough. If Spirit Academy maybe were to win this game 16-14, 16-12, at least Cosmo have shown something to give me, you know, the confidence in them to take Vertigo. But they really haven't, have they, Flam?
They really haven't. I think all that we've really seen is that Leswell can drop 12. I mean, like
we've seen a fair few signs from Spint as well, but I feel like it's seemingly Cosmo are winning their rounds just off the back of one individual finding a double early on. It's not a consistent frag power throughout, and that's the disappointing factor here for Cosmo. Because yes, you're relying on individuals to kind of work their magic, but it's not as though you've got a consistent fragger like Artfrost, like Zontix, and I feel like you can throw Baz in there as well, doing really well this game, 15-12. I feel like we need to see a little bit more from Cosmo. They have got time to work with, but it seems to be running out. Spin.
Yeah, time is slowly ticking down.
There's only 10 seconds in this round, in fact. Cosmo can win this. 5 seconds, no time for the bomb. Oh, R16, 1 versus 3. He hears the steps.
No.
He goes down after time. Oh, how has he been able to keep himself alive? We're going to see a buy here from Spirit Academy. The buy from Spirit is going to be better than Cosmo's.
Yep. That's been the story of this game.
But they just won the round. They were too heavy to hunt Artfrost there. Obviously, you understand why. You want to keep him on no weapon at all, but the swing was disjointed. It seems as though in every aspect of Cosmo's game plan and kind of potentially gameplay, it really hasn't been working out all too well for them. And a fast pop here for Spirit Academy. Just destruction. The kill feed is all Spirit Academy's way. 4 on 2 now, and I think a 14th certainly going to go their way, and potential for 15th as well, because the economy for Cosmo is certainly not perfect, and that's why we already see these two players instantly in CT spawn saving.
Did they have their loss bonus reset?
No, but it, obviously it was because they won with only 1 player surviving. That's the causation for their really weak economy.
Yeah, I'm more worried about what's going to be their economy after this next round here. You'd imagine it's going to have to be a save potentially.
Yeah.
Potentially, yeah.
Ooh, Zontes. Once again with the tabs. Let's play towards Garage. He needs to be careful. It's going to be MP9s and Deagles. Or they opt for an eco and give up match point. I feel like Cosmo, they're in a position now. They either fully invest and gamble it all for here and now, or they go for the half buy. But realistically, do you think they're going to win 8 rounds in a row and bring it to OT? I think it's too far gone already.
They could hit the jackpot and get themselves a big round here.
I see what you did there.
I'm so proud of that joke.
Yeah.
At least we've got smiles.
I'm not.
I'm so proud of that joke. At least we've got smiles over here at the casting couch for both of us at the moment.
Certainly not smiles on the Cosmo side, though.
I reckon Artfrost is angry at the fact he's only dropped 25. I'll be completely honest with you.
2.5 KD.
If he doesn't drop 30, I think he's going to be fuming.
He's got like a 1.2 KR. I think he's all right with that.
No, I think he'd be absolutely molding, to be completely honest with
you. I doubt it. Drop 25 in a round of 16.
I'd be molding if I was usually dropping 30, to be completely honest with you. However,
There's still time. There's still time. Artfrost is still alive. You can get a double here.
Hold up. Let him cook. Let him cook.
Oh, spin. We'll eventually find him, but does go down. Artfrost finds one as well. 26 on the board here now. 15th found for Spirit Academy. And I think Vertigo is going to be coming a little bit quicker than we all imagined.
Well, I mean, sometimes in life you gotta go up to the top of the world, and if that happens to be 51 floors up into the air like Vertigo, you know, it is going to be a little bit of a harder fall for Cosmo heading up that high up into the sky. But for Spirit Academy at the moment, you know, match point here, Vertigo, you'd have to imagine would be in the back of their minds, but they can't be thinking about it just yet. We are going to see Baz and Sprint have themselves a little bit of a kissing match over in towards Trophy Room, where Baz finding himself an opening pick here. It almost looks to be a little bit of a tale that we've seen time and time again here in this map. And it's that the opening pick usually decides the round.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it's pretty much always gone Spirit Academy's way. The only round I can really think about Cosmo finding those openers and having a lot of success was that jackpot double towards outside on their T side. Since then, I really can't remember a round that Cosmo had those double entries and were able to take it. It seemingly has always gone Spirit Academy's way. Artfrost.
It really has.
He's switching the AWP to Baz. I don't think I'd ever imagine that happening.
I never thought I'd see the day that Artfrost would give up the AWP, to be completely honest with you.
I thought you were going to spit some bars there. I never thought I'd see the day that Artfrost gives the AWP away, but Baz will be able to find a quick kill onto Lesswill. Kiro, all that remains. He's getting pushed by Artfrost. He wants 28, but he won't find it as Kiro does take him down, but this one is over. You know, Kiro, 1 versus 4, 22 HP, no kit, just a flashbang. He's going to be coming up here.
I'm backing him.
Oh, I think we got a knife. I think we got a knife kill. Have we got a knife?
Oh no.
Oh, Kiro.
Oh.
What's going on here?
Kiro. That's his one flash gone. He's got 3 at the moment here.
Oh my god. No scope
my
as
days.
well. But the game does go Spirit Academy's way. We kind of saw it consistently edging closer to that real factor. But sadly for Cosmo, they lose that. Well, the first game here. They lost their own map pick. It's devastating to see it. But yeah, what are your thoughts after that one, Flam?
Well, this is definitely an uphill battle. Or
Yeah.
upstairs battle, technically, if you want to talk about Vertigo. Maybe even an up elevator battle, to be even more precise. But, you know, I think Vertigo at the moment is going to be the map that we do see both of these teams look to try and push towards. Nuke was sort of that map that we've seen both of these teams try to have themselves a good start, a good first impression. And first impressions do count for a lot at the moment.
Do last, definitely.
And with that map, well, I guess we kind of have an expectation of who's going to come in towards this second map and take the win.
Yeah, I guess we'll be able to see who does take the victory, though. Hopefully Cosmo can bring themselves back into this and we can get a bit of a 3-mapper, but I feel like Spirit Academy, they're looking dominant, they're looking comfortable, but I guess we'll see after the break, and then we head to Vertigo. Hello, hello there, guys. Straight into the action we go. Spirit Academy coming off the back of a very convincing victory on their opponent's map pick. Now they're here on Vertigo. Cosmo, they need to take Vertigo here to bring it to Overpass, to keep them in the series and keep them in survival here in the playoffs, in the Challenger Division. But Flam, we saw the first game. How do you think this one's going to go?
I feel like it's going to go exactly the same. To be completely honest with you, it was probably Cosmo's best opportunity to be able to take away a map on Nuke. They weren't able to do that. You know, we're going to see Spirit Academy now looking to try and, you know, double down, run it back on what was a pretty successful first map.
Yeah, definitely. I think Spirit Academy, not only are they going to be coming into their own map with a lot of confidence, but I think as well, they're going to be so well drilled here on Vertigo. Clearly very confident about picking it into their opponents, and I feel like Cosmo, they're going to struggle. Obviously, they still have the chance for success, but the pistol round, a necessary victory here for Cosmo. We saw it on the T side of Nuke, and we need to see it here on the CT side of Vertigo. They've got to try and find some rounds early. They've got to regain their confidence. Otherwise, Spirit Academy certainly could run away with it.
They really could, and especially running away with a little bit of early mid control. We are going to see Frost finding himself the opening pick. Now, we are going to take a look here with what's going to look to be a little bit of a cheeky B split coming through. Zonix to potentially just walk away from that B control, less will to find himself a little bit of damage. And I mean, it's going to be absolutely chaotic here. We will see Donk finding himself one eventually. Huckler to get two potential. However, Softic very quick to say, hey, let's cut that out. Let's cut that out.
Yeah, no more kills for you. That's enough.
No more.
And the pistol round goes Spirit Academy's way.
It does. And we do see a good start coming through here for Spirit Academy. The T side has won the pistol round in every single pistol opportunity that we've seen so far in this map. The T side has really looked to dominate here at the moment. And well, I mean, it's a good sign coming through for both of these teams.
Yeah, Spirit Academy, we do see the full buyout for them. Once again, an eco for Cosmo. Obviously, we saw Spirit Academy going for the Force when they were on the CT side after losing the pistol on Nuke. But Cosmo, once again, just with an eco here, don't really want to give away a round for free. Very deep hit. Sadly, Lesswell, though, goes down for nothing. And I think we're just going to be seeing a bit of a regular B-pop here for Spirit Academy. A lot of util coming over. Frost with the double flashes. And now we're finally seeing players get in deep. Not going to be easy here for Cosmo, especially as they are just operating with the pistols. But talk about a player on the pistols. Frost finds his second in this round with the P250. Wants to get out that AWP as quick as possible. Now it will be the MAC-10 to close it out. Zontix with a double. And Frost, I think he might get out the AWP in this third round.
Honestly, I back him too.
I hope why not?
Does.
There it is.
He does. There it is.
I love it.
Oh, thank God. Thank God we get to see Frost with that little gun that he continues to use all the time. Thank God he's got it.
Certainly not a little gun.
It's definitely, actually, maybe it's average size. It's got great personality.
Is it pocket size?
It's got great personality.
Okay.
You're gonna let me sit on that? You're not gonna work? You're gonna talk about the game anymore? No.
No, I'll let that sit. Just
be quiet the rest of the round then. Just be quiet the rest of the round then.
Alright. I don't think I can let the awkwardness set in. I can't let it happen.
Just be one with the awkwardness, man. Speaking of awkwardness, well, there's definitely no awkwardness between these two teams at the moment. 1:05 to play, and they're still feeling each other out. Still trying to work themselves a little bit more map control here for both of these teams so far. And now, especially with some utility coming over towards ramp, it is going to look to be the ramp take coming through.
Yeah, heavy B stack here from Cosmo as well. They've got 3 players lined up there. Surely some rotations need to come in through soon, but we are going to be seeing a bit of a boost. Sothic does send out the molly. They're very aware of the boost. They finally spot the player, and somehow Donk finds the frag. Not only does he get the first, secures the second. 5-on-3 here, and I think Cosmo, cut your losses, just go for the save. No real need to try and have a look into this one, so I feel like just going to be losing picks. Huckler does find Sotfic while backing away through the smoke, but another round goes the way of Spirit Academy, quite dominantly there as well.
Yeah, just absolute dominance coming through, and it is definitely what you like to see. Spirit Academy taking this A side by force, and that's It's just, if you're a Spirit Academy fan, that's exactly what you love to take a look at, what you love to have a little bit of a cheeky peek at. Is it your team coming through all the confidence in the world, being able to take probably one of the more difficult parts of any single map here in this competitive map pool with ease. The fact they've been able to do it, finding 2 frags, they've forced the save to come out here at the moment, and we're going to see them pick themselves up round number 3. The AWP still staying here in that server.
You know,
Absolutely brutal.
I think as well, Cosmo, there's so... What is going on? Oh, he still lives.
Oh,
He still lives.
oh my god, I thought they just threw the AWP away.
That's R16
my.
just toying with our emotions.
R16, you can't do that to me, man. I'm about to have a heart attack, please.
But Cosmo, they so heavily gamble towards B. Rotation's very slow. And I feel like that's just a fear that Spirit Academy have instilled. Obviously, they show a little bit of presence towards A, a couple pieces of util, but Cosmo, they're still ready for it to be a fake, and they lose a lot for it. Nice opener from Art Frost, though. Takes down Jackpot very early on. MP9 can be retrieved. Kiro needs to keep himself alive, though, and you're peeking into Art Frost. This is a dangerous game to play.
Very dangerous game indeed. It's kind of like chicken, but with an AWP.
It's chicken with an AWP, and it's also against a driver that you've never seen pull away. You know, you can't play chicken. Yeah. You can't play chicken with Art Frost.
I feel like Art Frost would be absolutely dominant at chicken, to be completely honest with you. Absolute menace to his friend.
Definitely. Certainly no chicken in this one. Obviously finds the opener. Going to be rotating very quickly as well towards A. Art Frost going to get posted up. Oh, Sotfic. Just tucked away here. I doubt we're going to even see Kiro clear this. Nope. Completely confident. Does go down. And it's all on Leswell. Interesting investment here. We see Kiro investing in nothing. Jackpot and Spin both fully buy. Huckler and Leswell with a little bit of money to work with. Potentially Cosmo between two minds here and what the game plan really is.
Either that or they just really...
That was so close to connecting.
Oh dear, if it did connect, I think...
Please don't scare me like that, Art Frost.
Art Frost has actually just got hacks, and he's just toying with us now. But no, I think especially, you know, with a little bit of a disconnected game plan coming through at the moment, it's a little bit more of a sign that both of these players are playing a little bit more individually than I think first expected here. We're not seeing that team element come through for this Cosmos side. And it's really, you know, starting to hurt them in terms of, you know, late game in that nuke. You know, they weren't playing as a team. They weren't playing, you know, together as a single unit. They were playing as 5 individuals. And I think we often see, you know, a lot of new teams that are formed playing as 5 individuals instead of as a team. You know, the Spirit Academy side, we've seen them play together for almost 6 months, 7 months now. They're playing as a team. They're playing as a unit. They're deciding, you know, where they're going to go. They're deciding what supporting utility is going to be able to put certain people in certain positions to succeed. And that's exactly what we're seeing from Spirit Academy at the moment. The fact that we're seeing Cosmo at the moment individually coming through, Jackpot going through, flash by his own teammate on the swing. Like,
yeah, I think as well, because Spirit Academy, they, as you mentioned, have been playing with each other for quite some time now. I think something that is no longer going to be kind of a thought that they need to make is these kind of game plans. I feel like, you know, if they're going towards A, they don't need to think about who's throwing what piece of util. They can just focus on their crosshair because they know that everything is just, you know, so well drilled. They don't actually need to kind of potentially communicate on who's throwing what piece of util because they already have that ironed out and they can just focus on the frags, whereas potentially Cosmo have a little bit more to think about, and that's where it becomes a little less fluid.
Yeah, it definitely does. And it's just going to become more of a chaotic scene here.
Leswell, though, gets a triple. Huckler finds one as well, and it's all on Art Frost.
Well, not anymore.
That's a great round from Cosmo. Finally get one on the board. We need to see them string them together, though. They've got to find some success here on the CT side.
Now looking in towards round number 5 coming through, Cosmo picking up their first round. It will be the double AWP setup coming through here for Cosmo at the moment. Kiro to find himself that opening pick as the B rush almost looks to, you know, try to slow down just a little bit. That secondary AWP hasn't made itself known just quite yet, so Spirit Academy still working under the assumption that it's
Ooh.
only a single AWP, and we will see here Donk finding himself to Hero Leswell both going down. And now that second AWP is in position.
A great response here from Donk. Finds the third as well. Huckler falls. An unnecessary swing there. It was a 5-on-3 at one point. Now, Spirit Academy, they're the ones in the driver's seat, and I think they are just going to end towards B here. Smokes are going to be coming through. It's not going to be easy here for Spin. We do have this flank from Jackpot, but it's not going to be all too quick. Util coming over now. A lot of it as well. R16 sends that final flashbang. The aggression will come through now. The smokes are good, though. It allows Donk to cross, and I think Donk's going to get aggressive. Jackpot finally emerges from the back lines. Will spot one. Hasn't taken him down, though. Oh, what a spray transfer there from Jackpot as he takes down R16 and Donk. Now it's all on Baz. 1 versus 2 now. Both his opponents have been chipped down a little, but it's not going to be easy. And Jackpot could be the one to close it out himself, but Baz does find him. Baz with a lot of work to do here, but he takes down Spin. What a round there. We saw the triple from Donk. Baz clutching out that 1 versus 2. What a shot that was from Jackpot, but sadly not enough. And Spirit Academy, they deny Cosmo stringing any rounds together. They extend their lead once further, and look at the economy that Cosmo are going to be having in the next. Obviously, they can get a buy in this one, but if they lose, they're going to be giving up 8 or 7 rounds to the side of Spirit Academy. Devastating there from Cosmo. Especially as well, they found the 2 openers. It was a 5-on-3 in their favor.
Yeah, I think, you know, with the fact that we did see that swing coming through from, if I remember correctly, it was it Leswell? Or was it Huckler?
I think it was Huckler. Huckler was the third to fall.
Was the third to fall. That big swing, you know, just really turned the tide of that round. We will see here, Softic at least being able to find that trade onto Huckler. Very quick up yellow. Does hear that AWP is still in that server. Softic to find Leswell, and now all of a sudden here, Softic looking to try and catch this rotation off.
He will do so successfully as well. Oh, the timing for Zontix is perfect. Not only are they going to be aware of Zontix, but Softic here still in the back lines as well. Kiro with a lot of work to do here. Kiro goes down. Zontix. Nice triple in this round, and Spirit Academy, they find that 6th. I mentioned the 7th can come through as well. It's 6-1 here. Cosmo, they're on the CT side. This is the side that they selected, and they really are struggling. And as we mentioned, Flam, I feel like this is going to be a bit of a repeat of what we saw on Nuke, and Cosmo really need to change their tune here, need to turn the tides, or things are going to kind of not go so well for them. Potentially a 2-0 is going to come through, and Cosmo, their Season 8 will come to a close. Oh, yeah, great from Donk.
Definitely not close enough to have a bit of a season close just yet, but with Donk finding himself 1, we're going to see more of a hunt coming in through against these pistols. Frost to tag up his own teammate, question mark?
Frost wants a kill, he'll take one, regardless of whether it's his opponent or his teammate.
Well, he's only got 5 frags so far here in this game, and of course,
a kill's a kill.
We're talking about. Yeah, a kill is a kill. It doesn't matter, you know, if it's an easy one or a more difficult one like the opponents, and all of a sudden, you know, it's a bit of an interesting state for him.
Great fake here though from Spirit Academy. Donk will take down Kiro as well. It is all on Spin. Invested in this MP9, hasn't had any impact so far, as all 5 of the Spirit Academy players still alive, and I feel like Spin potentially just going to be searching for 1 kill upgrade to an AK, and then potentially try and save, but it's not going to be easy. Is leaning towards A now. Donk in a very interesting situation. Oh, never mind, as he takes down Spin. Donk gets 4 in this round. And although it was Arfrost that we were kind of singing his praises throughout the whole of that last game, seemingly it's Donk in this one. 11-5 so far. Really performing well. 7th round found for Spirit Academy. And they're potentially already looking to close out the half here, and maybe double digits on the cards on their T side. And it's so clear to see why Spirit Academy have picked Vertigo.
They look so comfortable. They just look comfy. They look like they're just sitting at home on the couch, feet up, you know, reading the newspaper. That's how comfy these boys look here at the moment. It's not even like they're breaking a sweat. We're just seeing, you know, their usual protocols, looking to just get the job done. We're going to see Donk finding himself nearly pick Leswell to try and get one back here on that B side. Eventually traded away a beautiful shot there by Baz.
Oh, and even the lurk of Spin goes down to Zontix. played very deep towards kind of B ramp, and oh, jackpot. You can play an off angle all you like. Donk is ready for it. Spirit Academy gonna find 8 on the back of this, and I don't think we're even gonna be seeing Kiro save. I don't think there's the chance for it.
I want to say he gets away with it. But I doubt it.
Oh, he's being held by Art Frost towards ramp. We are gonna be seeing a bit of a closing in from the 2 other Spirit Academy players. This is not gonna be easy. Trapped towards sandbags currently. And once he fires off that first AWP shot, that's when it's going to be tough. And there it is. The hunt surely going to come through now. Drops the smoke. Kiro needs to try and survive, but he's getting pressured. It's going to be so tough. And Frost takes him down through the sandbags. Devastating there. 8th round found here for Spirit Academy. The half is theirs. And I feel like anything else is just extra, really. I think double digits potentially can be found on the T side here. I don't really see much of a response here from Cosmo. And it's looking a bit devastating for them.
I genuinely believe we might be seeing a 3 to 12 half coming through.
Potentially, maybe even more.
Like, oh, this is going to be absolutely brutal here for Cosmo.
Certainly not an easy defeat. And I think as well, in these really tough losses, you know, trying to come away with it with any success, you know, at least, you know, watching back the demo, seeing little mistakes here and there where you can improve on, but we haven't really seen it. It's just been dominance from Spirit Academy. I feel like you look back at this game and it seems as though Cosmo, it's not about the small mistakes. It seems as though there's just, you know, what have they shown here on Vertigo?
I feel like Cosmo haven't had the opportunity to make mistakes. I'll be completely honest with you. They haven't had the opportunity to make mistakes. We'll see one person, you know, go down in a fight that, you know, that was a complete 50-50. They could have won, they could have lost. The moment they go down, all of a sudden, you know, that's completely opened up sights to, you know, issues and, you know, situations where, you know, usually you're not seeing those fights coming through. But, you know, we've just seen Spirit Academy, they've looked to try and get themselves dominant here, and they've done that. They've proved their dominance. I
definitely think it's less of kind of decision-making mishaps, and I feel like it is potentially just a difference in ability. I feel like the Spirit Academy side are just so strong here. This round should go Cosmo's way, though. Found another towards mid. Sotfik and Art Frost all that remain, but they brought it to a 2 versus 3. The bomb site is open. Things are looking a little bit dangerous here. Once again, it could be, I believe, what, 5 versus 2 that goes against them. Art Frost does go down, though. Sotfik going to need the ace to clutch this one out. Miss flashbang there from Spin. Obviously, Sotfik is playing from gap, but Spin, an easy kill for him to find here. And second round found here for Cosmo.
And here's where the comeback starts, ladies and gentlemen.
16-9, Cosmo win it.
Here's where it starts.
Are they going to be able to string their rounds together, though? That is the question.
You'd like to think they could. You'd like to think.
I hope so.
You'd like to think they will.
You know, without it, they are really going to struggle. Obviously, Lesswill can drop over to Jackpot, but the money already drained very heavily here on the side of Cosmo. Not a similar story for Spirit Academy, though. The economy looking so strong. Everyone above 4K, so they will be able to get a buy in the next, regardless of outcome.
Now here it is just going to be a little bit more of a intriguing fight coming through towards ramp. A little bit of utility just sprayed left, right, and center. You name it, it's been thrown.
Yeah, B has been taken here from Lesswill. I like the setup that Cosmo are running towards middle. Great bait and switch. Spin finds one. Huckler swings to take down Sotfik. 5 versus 3 here. And Cosmo, seemingly they're able to find these openers. Obviously, they converted the last round off the back of these openers. Donk should be able to find this frag, though. Takes down Jackpot. 2 versus 4 now. Not going to be easy whatsoever. And Donk falls to Kiro, all on Art Frost. And I feel like the real difference between this game and the last is Art Frost really isn't performing to the standards that we're ready for. Only 7 and 5. Don't get me wrong. It's, you know, it's still positive KD, still having impact, but it's not the 20 and 7, is it?
It really isn't. But I think here's the thing: Art Frost hasn't needed to perform.
I think
Frost hasn't needed to go out and find
yeah.
himself 20 frags and a half to go out and take a win, right? We've seen Dunk take a heavy share of the load coming through, but we've also seen, Zonix have himself 9 frags. We've seen Softic find himself 8. You know, a lot of these players that feel a little bit more comfortable on.
I think as well, you've got to imagine that there is a bit of a CT sway. I think using the AWP on the CT side, is far easier. I feel like a lot of individuals, a lot of AWPers aren't going to be anywhere near as comfortable with the with the AWP on the T side. And I feel like, don't get me wrong, R16 still having impact, but I feel like the level of impact very different. It's exactly what we saw on Nuke. You dropped 20 on the CT side and 8 on the T side, I believe.
Yeah, it's a completely 2 different games that we're seeing at the moment between that T side AWP and that CT side AWP, and
guess we'll see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
He's going to be going for a bit of an aggressive peek towards sandbags. Kiro makes his position, though, dancing around default, trying to hit a bit of a pot shot through the smoke, but he's firing these bullets, not connecting a single one. Devastating for Kiro. Trying to take a page out of R16's books towards Secret. I remember went for, I think, 4 swings and killed 5 individuals. But Kiro not so successful. And look at this round for Spirit Academy. 10 rounds certainly going to be on the board here, as Leswell is all that remains. So double digits found here in the initial half for Spirit Academy.
Yeah, we'll see Leswell try to keep himself alive. Try to keep that AK kicking and fighting.
Definitely necessary as well.
See that hunt. We won't see the hunt, and that's the big thing at the moment. We won't see that hunt coming through from Spirit Academy.
There's no real need for it. I feel like you go for a hunt in a round like this, it can be absolutely devastating for your economy. Obviously, Leswell potentially going to have a bit of a look here. Has got a smoke and a kit. Throws the AWP out of the map, but there is time. Oh, not anymore, sadly. Didn't get straight on the bomb. We'll just be backing away. As close to full there, but Spirit Academy, as mentioned, they do find double digits here.
Yeah, getting 10, an absolute, it's just a huge achievement here at the moment. It's going to look to be, 2 can sort of end this move.
12-3 still on the cards, as you mentioned.
Still on the cards, it's still there as a possibility, but who's going to be able to take a little bit more control here in this map? That's the biggest thing. Who's going to be able to take control late? We've seen Spirit Academy take control of this map early. We know exactly what they can do. Can we see Cosmo fight back a little bit of control, pick themselves up 5 here?
Nice entry there from Baz. The trade does come through, but Spint takes a fair bit of damage for it. Jackpot just working around this smoke, finds the first, second as well. So 4 versus 2. R16 searching for a pick here towards ramp, but not so successful. Can retrieve this second smoke grenade, but in fact, just going to be dropping his smoke and then falling back towards B. Zontix with a lot of work to do here. Going to try and search for the opener towards B, facing off against Leswell here. Might go for the boost. Yeah, that is what they are going to be aiming for. Zontix has got himself up here towards B. Leswell with a lovely angle. Crosshair placement's looking good. Fires a little too quick there. We are going to see this flank from Huckler, though. All about timing. Spin. Open hand. Flash is good, but Spin, the awareness for that. Leswell takes down R16. Huckler was in the back lines, but not even needed, and I think they are going to be playing this double AWP. Oh, in fact, Huckler switches to that M4 there, but 10 rounds for Spirit Academy. Will Cosmo find their 5th?
Yeah, it's a good question. Of course, if we see Spirit Academy win their round, Zonix Law could potentially even see Cosmo have themselves a miraculous comeback here, but this will be an interesting fight coming through.
Love to see a comeback, though. Cosmo,
I would.
They've still got a bit of fight in them, but this round so important for them to find. Obviously,
I think especially
they take the final round here, they win the pistol. They've got a real chance in this game. Ooh, Zontix deep, spots him out. No damage taken as well. He spotted the player towards Guardian. Spint going to be getting aggressive though. Takes down Zontic. Searching for his second, but a 4-on-4 hit. Sotfik retrieves the AK. Playing towards quad now. The smoke comes through, but Sotfik ready for the aggression. Takes down Spint. 4 versus 3 now. The B-bomb site under the control of Spirit Academy. Rotations aren't going to be all too quick either. And Cosmo potentially going to be giving up the chances for their 5th, but they've still got an opportunity in this one. A tough retake on their hands, but will they be able to take it?
Yeah, utility coming down here from Huckler. This 3v4 situation, a boost up over this white box.
I love it.
Oh, you love to see it.
Of course, it's Artfrost on top. Gets the tag. Finally, we'll get the frag in this round as he takes down Jackpot. Aggressive swing from Artfrost, and this is the Artfrost we're used to seeing. Might go for a no-scope. Oh, a knife kill, in fact. Donk. Really adding insult to injury. Spirit Academy find 11, and Cosmo left with their head in their hands. Only 4 rounds on the CT side of Vertigo for survival here in this series.
Zonic's Law, mate. Zonic's Law, I believe fully.
You believe in Zonic's Law. I think Spirit Academy, they're all firm believers in Zontix's Law. And I think
Zontix's Law?
They win. That's just the law.
Is that Zontix's Law?
Zontix's Law, yeah. Indeed.
Are you making stuff up? Are you trying to trick me?
Well, if they win, then I guess it's a law. So it's going to be a bit of Zonix versus Zontix.
Zontic's opportunity to become written in the history books, Counter-Strike. I like that.
Certainly written in the history books in the SCL.
100%. Absolute legend. Love him.
But history's not what we're on about. It's all about the here and now, the present. And Cosmo, they've got a lot to fight for here on this T side now. Certainly going to be a bit of a struggle, but a pistol round can bring them back into the conversation. Not going to be easy, but obviously you mentioned it. All 3 pistol rounds so far have been won by the Ts, and are we going to see 4 for 4?
You'd like to think that we could see 4 for 4. You'd like to think it. However, I do think it's Spirit Academy at the moment. A little bit more poised, a little bit more composed here in this server. It does look to be their round to take.
Not going to be easy here for Cosmo. Only 4 rounds. Yeah, it's going to be tough. I think we need to see a pistol out from Cosmo. Potentially a force from Spirit Academy that goes Cosmo's way, so they can get 3 on the board early on this T side. We'll be looking at a 7-11. It's not going to be easy for them to come back, but I feel like Spirit Academy, we've seen what they sometimes opt to do when they do have a little bit too much confidence. That confidence can turn to complacency. So I think not only the coach, but the in-game leader definitely going to be telling the Spirit Academy guys, you know what guys, we're 11-4 up. We're switching to the CT side. This is our map. Let's not make any mistakes. Let's just play the kind of this CS. We're ready. Let's give our opponents some respect, because without it, Cosmo, they've still got a chance back into this one. You know, they've got themselves to the playoffs for a reason, and I feel like Cosmo, they're still yet to show us why they're here.
Yeah, I mean, definitely Cosmo still have, really underperformed in this first finals match, but of course, for this side, it is going to be sort of their test to prove all of us wrong. Prove, us, ivory tower casters that, we're the people who are in the wrong here, and it is going to be a big challenge for them to come out on top. I've got full belief that they'll be able to at least try and get themselves a good fight coming in towards this, next few rounds, but the big test is going to be up ahead.
They find the opener though, and Jackpot doubles down, searching for the 3rd player towards Gap. The bomb being planted there. I love the risk they take, but Zontic's all that remains. So seemingly, we are going to be seeing the 4 for 4 pistol round is spent. Simple frag to be found. Cosmo find their 5th. And Spirit Academy, they get pretty heavily caught out there towards A.
They do get pretty caught out there. And, I feel like we've seen B, in the history at least of Cosmo on Vertigo, B's sort of been their bread and butter. A little bit of surprise coming through for not only Spirit Academy, but also me here. I was fully expecting to see a bit of a B pop come through. We just don't see it. We see Cosmo, my apologies, able to pick themselves up 5.
It's all about whether they can best this force by, though, of the Spirit Academy side. Obviously, we've got Deagles, we've got the Scout, some 5.7s as well. So we do need to see Cosmo win this one. As I mentioned, if they take down Spirit Academy here, they could find their 7th, but there is no guarantee. And with Artfrost on the Scout, Deagle's in play, and a couple 5.7s with a lot of HE grenades, Spirit Academy Not a side to be overlooked here on this force. Once again, though, Cosmo leaning quite heavily towards the A-bomb site. Rotations will be coming through, and these HE grenades still got 3 pins to pull. So, the real question is, when are they going to send them towards ramp? In fact, they are going to be lining them up. A flash, in fact, towards Gap. Bit of return fire on the utility for Cosmo, and I think they are going to be hitting the bomb site now. Hefty nade onto the 2 defenders from headshot. Artfrost will go down. Tag onto Spint, though, as Ontix comes alive. Finds one, but the trade is instant from Huckler. 4 versus 3 here. Well, this nade could be perfect. Baz takes down Huckler. 2 players have been tagged here for Cosmo. There's a real chance here for Spirit Academy. Bonk comes through. The spam's perfect for Donk. Man, advantage here for Spirit Academy now. Jackpot with a lot of work to do as Spint is 11 HP.
20 seconds left here on this clock. We are going to see Jackpot trying to find himself at least this tap away against this scout. Soptic will be tagged up quite heavily, but will eventually find that frag with that P250.
Spint's just going to have to save. 11 HP, AK in hand, 10 seconds to work with. Spirit Academy, they find their 12th, and we mentioned for Cosmo they needed to take this one, but they definitely weren't ready for Spirit Academy's success there. And Flam, you look at the kill split here on the Spirit Academy side. Artfrost, he dropped 20 on the CT side of Nuke. Currently the bottom performer here for Spirit Academy here on Vertigo. But it just goes to show that when Artfrost isn't fragging, we've got other players to step up, really. We've got players to fill his shoes, and I feel like Cosmo, they need some individuals to step up here.
They really do, and I think it's really a good sign of a good young Counter-Strike team at the moment. The fact that, you know, your best player isn't performing. A huge nade.
It was the no-scope as well with the scout to get the initial tag.
Absolutely beautiful, absolutely beautiful stuff coming through right there. But still, you know, I think it's a really good sign of a good young Counter-Strike team. The fact that, you know, one of your players isn't performing, you're still able to sit there and perform nevertheless.
I don't know if you saw that. Artfrost found the pick with the scout and the nade, and he just chucks his scout to Donk, kind of saying, "Give me that AK. I want to go frag." They're going to be aware of the player towards sandbags here. He needs to be careful. Bit of ramp aggression coming through from Spirit Academy. And once again, it's going to be an A hit here from Cosmo. Ooh, Sophic, though, an important kill to find. Might go hunting a little bit more, but Kiro eliminates. 4 versus 3 now. Couple deagles, and obviously that Tech 9. Kiro could find another hit. Taps away through Gap. Kiro does find him, though. And it's all on Kiro. Gonna need the ace to clutch this one out, but 5 HP. Gonna go down. Spirit Academy find 13. 3 rounds away from closing this out on Flamboyant. It looks exactly the same as what we saw on Nuke. A dominant performance here from Spirit Academy.
It really does look the exact same as Nuke, and you almost just start to get little bits of PTSD where, you know, we had a little bit of belief coming through. It was just sort of slightly misguided, I think is the best way to describe that last map in terms of our belief. And, you know, it's just going to become a little bit more of a strenuous task in this game at the moment. The big question is, you know, we've seen so many opportunities. We've seen so many opportunities for this Cosmo side to come out here, show us exactly what they're made of, be the guy that stands up to the big bad bully of the SCL. We just haven't seen that so far today.
Yeah, I feel like it definitely was a bit of a David and Goliath story, but I feel like Goliath definitely has been dominating Donk. Just trying to take down his teammate there. Was he dealing damage through the floor?
I don't know.
It's funny to see, I guess. But I feel like Spirit Academy, they know they've won. They're shooting their own teammates. I feel like they already know it's over. And Cosmo, this is going to be their final investment. They lose in this round, it's done. Spirit Academy will find 15. They'll only have about 3k to work with. It's not enough. And Cosmo, they have to win this one or it is over. Spirit Academy will win this one 2-0.
Yeah, and I think that's definitely not a fate that we want to think about. I think especially.
I wanted to see overpass. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, I wanted to see Overpass as well. I'll be completely honest. Both of these teams have looked comfortable on that map, and both of these teams have, looked like, Overpass has sort of become a new map to sort of add in towards that map pool, especially after we did see Dust 2 have a bit of a tragic loss of life back in, the big Dust incident of 1937. It's just going to be more of a strenuous task here as Spirit Academy to take on these rifles quite early on, and with this 3v4 situation now. Oh boy, this is a pretty deadly crossfire that we're seeing here over on this A side in between Artfrost and Zontix, whoever donk from behind, finding one, eventually going down. Huckler to take that peek there. Will eventually go down. Artfrost with that AWP. You'd imagine that he's going to find Jackpot. Has he spotted the shadow?
Either spotted the shadow, or maybe it was Zontix to spot him on the edge of the smoke, obviously playing from headshot. But 15 found. We mentioned the fate that Cosmo put themselves in. We're gonna have Mac 10s, Galils, maybe even some Deagles. I really wonder what Cosmo are gonna be working with in this round. Definitely not gonna be an easy round for them to find. Kiro has been dropped to Galil, I believe, by Huckler. Potential final round of the series here. Unless if Cosmo really can dig deep, but it's going to be a tough one. Already Jackpot and Les will have been kind of chipped down a little. Zontix with the opener. Oh, Donk swinging on through. Donk finding two, and I think this one is done. Zontix finds the frag. It's all on Huckler. He falls to Baz. And that, I feel like that final round really showed and really kind of dignified how this game went. 5 alive there from Spirit Academy. Not a single frag found from Cosmo. And it really did show how dominant that game truly was. But Spirit Academy, first round of 16 game for us to see. And they won it very convincingly. 16-5 in that last one. I think maybe a similar kind of scoreline in the first, 16-6 potentially. But what an amazing game that was from Spirit Academy. And deservedly. We mentioned them, how they'd be potentially the team to take it. Obviously they won last season and they're definitely going to want to keep that crown once again, but a very dominant victory for them. Heading into the quarterfinals, they're going to be coming into it with a lot of confidence, and it's sad to see Cosmo fall so early, but with a tough opponent like Spirit Academy, it's not going to be an easy game, and potentially we just didn't see enough from them on Nuke, and obviously with Vertigo being their opponent's map pick, it's never going to be an easy task. But what are your thoughts after that one, Flam?
Well, I mean, you're sort of... listen, it was a very dominant performance coming through from Spirit Academy at the moment. We have had the SCL come down, give us their MVP of the series. Do you want to guess who it was, Zola?
Oh, interesting. I'm gonna say R16. I'll give him that on Nuke. I feel like he went what 27-10. I think 27-11 maybe.
27-11.
100% entry success as well. Yeah, you know what? I feel like probably R16. I'd say. Who's it actually gone to?
So the actual MVP for the entire series has gone to Artfrost. The MVP for Nuke was Artfrost, and the MVP for Vertigo was Donk. So, I mean...
good stuff from Donk. I like it.
We expected it. We expected it. Donk getting his name over there in the winners' books, of course, for that MVP series. But what we did see from Spirit Academy, on paper, dominant performance. In the server, even more dominant than what it was on paper, I'll be completely honest with you. We did see, a side that did look like a force to be reckoned with. A little bit of a wake-up call towards the rest of the SCL going, hey, look, Daddy's home. We're coming here and we're taking that championship. A very, very good start coming through here from the Spirit Academy side, and it's going to look to be a very, very deep run for this side.
Yeah, obviously, they're looking great. They have multiple fraggers that can step up when needed. I'll be honest with you, Flam. Artfrost ended the series with 40 kills. Donk got 43. Donk actually topped the series in frags. So, had a great performance on Vertigo. Obviously, still stepped up in Nuke. Obviously, Artfrost, though, the dominance he showed on the CT side of Nuke, you understand it. Potentially, he really set the tone of the whole series, and it's definitely understandable for him to get the MVP. But a great performance here from Spirit Academy. I feel like any opponent that they are going to be facing isn't going to be an easy task whatsoever. But a great first game, really going to kind of set the tempo, set the tone of how these playoffs games are going to be going. But what a great early start, and I think we have got plenty more playoff games obviously tomorrow, so I can't wait to see that action as well. But this is what the SCL can provide, so if you guys are enjoying, make sure to drop a follow on the Twitch and also the Twitter, so you guys get those updates about what games are being streamed and how the season's going so far. But playoffs, so looking juicy so far, can't wait